In a time before time, when the world was gripped in an eternal frost, lived Grok. Every morning began with the same bitter struggle for survival. The cold was a constant companion, a silent thief that stole the warmth from his very bones. Hunger was the only thing louder than the howling wind. His stores were empty, and his strength was fading. Grok knew that if he did not find food today, the winter would claim another soul. He reached for his only defense, a spear of chipped stone and weathered wood. It was as tired as its master. With grim determination, he sharpened the blade. A dull weapon meant a certain death in the forest. The world outside was a white abyss. Fog swallowed the giant trees and hid the predators that lurked in the shadows. Every snap of a twig, every rustle of the frost-heavy leaves was a potential threat to his life. Then, a movement. A small prize that could mean another day of life. Grok took aim, his breath held tight. But his hands were numb with cold, the spear flew wide, and his dinner vanished into the white silence. The weight of 1,000 failures crashed down upon him. He was a hunter who could no longer hunt. Starving and broken, Grok felt the world closing in. The struggle seemed over. But in the depths of his despair, a small curiosity flickered. 2 stones, unlike the rest, lay at his feet. He picked them up, not knowing that he held the key to the future of mankind. A strike. A crack. And for the first time in history, a man-made light pierced the prehistoric gloom. He was terrified, yet mesmerized. What was this tiny, fleeting star he had created? He tried again, his hands shaking with a new kind of energy. The dry leaves began to whisper with smoke. He breathed his own life into the embers, feeding the tiny, growing secret. Then it happened. A tiny tongue of orange fire licked the air, casting the first artificial shadow. In that glow, the world changed forever. The cold was no longer the master. He fed it, he nurtured it, and the small spark became a roaring guardian against the night. The darkness retreated, and for the first time, Grok felt a warmth that didn't come from the sun. He took a piece of the sun and bound it to a branch. He would no longer walk in the dark. With the torch held high, Grok was no longer a victim of the wild. He was a force of nature. Then, a giant emerged from the mist, the great mammoth, the undisputed king of the tundra. But Grok did not run. He stepped forward, the fire in his hand burning brighter than his fear. The beast, ancient and powerful, saw something it had never seen, a predator that carried the sun. With one wave of his hand, the giant fled. The balance of power had shifted. He returned as a conqueror, carrying the bounty of his victory. Hunger would haunt him no more. The journey back was different. He walked with the step of a king returning to his throne. The raw world was made sweet. The fire transformed the kill into a feast fit for the gods. As he tasted the first cooked meal, Grok knew he had discovered more than just warmth. He sat as the first firekeeper, the master of the element that would build civilizations. The cave was no longer a cold tomb. It was a home, a temple of the first light. From the darkness of the past, he looked toward the dawn of the future. The story of man had truly begun, and the fire he lit that night would burn forever. This was the first fire, the fire that made us human.